The story opens up with a woman wearing a headset and looks like she's talking back and forth with someone. The scene then shifts to elsewhere in the sea, where a woman loads her guns and wears some cool futuristic space military type of armor. The woman flies off from her ship to another, which seems to be hijacked, I guess. The super cool woman wipes all the hijackers and gradually gets to the captain. The captain threatens to blow up the ship, so the woman drops her weapon. But yeah, no way she is gonna go down like this. The super cool woman somehow manages to summon 2 small guns and shoots away the bomb's button and his weapons. But it looks like luck isn't on the side of that cool lady as something passes by at such speed that it shakes the whole boat. And somehow, the bad guy gets the detonator again and blows the ship up. Somewhere else, a nerdy-looking guy named Kakazu Kyo meets his uncle Miyagi Yuichi, celebrating something. Kyo's uncle asks him if he has found himself any girlfriend, to which he replies with a no. So, his uncle introduces him to a really hot cat girl with a tail, sitting at the buffet table. Kyo is introduced to the cat girl who tells him that she is from another planet, and her name is Eris. The two have a brief talk until Kyo bows down and is stunned by her big melons. In his shock, he accidentally drinks too much and ends up passing out. Kyo wakes up the following morning with a hangover, but feels something is lying with him. Like every weeb dream, the nerd discovers Eris lying next to him in bed. Shocked, the nerd wakes her up and asks her what she is doing there. Honestly, if I were there, I would not complain. Kyo hears his doorbell and asks her to stay put. To his surprise, it's his friend Manami Kinju and his teacher Maki Idakazu. Obviously, they misread the scenario, believing that Kyo brought a female home and forced her to cosplay all night before sleeping with her. He tries to clear things by saying that she is a literal cat girl from another planet. They feel a bit embarrassed and amazed by Kyo when they spot Eris, paying extra attention to her talent size. Initially, they think she's a cosplayer, but a closer look confirms that she's a literal cat girl. Ms. Idakazu strongly denies Eris' statement that she's an alien and refutes the possibility of her having a human-like or cat girl appearance. As Eris contemplates providing more evidence, her bell receives a call from her ship's navigation system, Luros, revealing that the ship has been found and ensnared in a fishing net. Eris issues a set of commands to Luros, which the system promptly executes, liberating the ship from the net and allowing it to soar away. They both depart immediately without even questioning anything. Later, after realizing Eris is an alien, Kyo goes on a stroll to clear his mind. While on the way, he gets called by another girl in glasses named Futaba AI. AI returns the borrowed DVD to Kyo and asks him out to visit some DVD stores together, basically inviting him on a date. But not so fast. AI is interrupted by a guy on an automobile whom she addresses as her uncle Endou. He offers to drive her home. Driving through the city, Endou playfully teases AI about her talk with Kyo. AI responds by silently pulling out a gun and threatening Endou, who pleads for mercy. AI, also known as Charmed Momiji, laughs it off and shoots. Endou catches his breath, looking at the cracked windshield. AI grins and admits it was all a prank. Transitioning to a serious note, Endou informs AI about her next mission, taking down an illegal immigrant named Eris and her squad before they become news or face rival groups. Back in her room, AI, in the midst of all this drama, facepalm with a chuckle. Turns out, the target, Eris, includes none other than Kyo. Talk about a plot twist. It is subsequently revealed that Manami is a CIA recruiter while AI is Charmed Momiji and works for the Japanese Immigration Bureau. Idakazu is the head of a group known as Beautiful Contact, and they've all been given instructions to assassinate Eris. Manami and AI keep an eye on Kyo and Eris, each waiting for the right moment to strike. Later, Eris seems to be enjoying herself while eating barbecue made by none other than Kyo. Eris feels bad for being a burden on Kyo, so she wants to compensate by offering her body, making us jealous of that nerd. But Kyo seriously rejects her offer. I mean, how could you reject and say no to something like this? In the morning, Kyo and Eris are standing in the lawn when Kyo's uncle Yuichi joins them, asking what they are doing. To this, Eris shows them a group of small robots growing from the ground called droids. According to Eris, these robots are extremely advanced and can understand the commands of an individual. Later, Kyo and Eris can be seen taking a stroll with the robots, but it looks like the day is too hot for the cat girl as she can't handle the heat. So, Kyo comes up with an idea and treats Eris to some ice cream and spends a day at the library. Later at night, while they are on their way home, something seems off. There are no people and all the street lights just went out. Suddenly, a group of masked people surround them, pointing guns at Eris. They demand that she returns to her planet as they refuse to recognize her as humanity's first alien contact. Kyo steps in the way and gets hit. like he was able to do something else. This forces AI to suit up in full battle gear, revealing that our cool mysterious lady from the opening scene is none other than AI herself. Watching Kyo getting beaten up forced AI to abandon her mission and intervene, attacking the masked assailants. Then she returns to her mission, but can't bring herself to hurt Kyo, who again tries to save Eris by holding one of AI's legs, if that makes sense. Suddenly Manami and her contact shoots tranquilizers towards Kyo and Eris, making them unconscious and take Eris captive. At the last, Kyo's uncle, Yuichi, makes a cool entrance onto the scene with flash grenades and manages to get Kyo and the droids out. Now I really wish that I have someone as cool as that nerd's uncle. Before passing out, Kyo notices Manami's watch when she takes Eris. When he wakes up, he calls Manami to ask where they took Eris. Manami, feeling terrible about what she did, gives up the information. Yuichi and Kyo find the secret society and make them help break Eris out of a military base. Manami and AI also join the effort. With a crazy distraction from Yuichi, Kyo sneaks into the hangar to rescue Eris. However, Eris has already freed herself and caught her kidnappers. Still, she's happy that Kyo risked his life to save her. Outside the hangar and with no way to escape, the group is stunned to see freaking military tanks approaching towards them. Eris and the droids attack an advancing squadron of tanks with what look like toy hammers. Somehow they were able to turn the whole squadron of the tanks into junk pieces. Well, that was quick. Later on, things settle back to normal, and the government keeps the event under wraps. Just as Eris plans to head home, a twist occurs. The Cation mothership arrives at Earth. Adding to the excitement, 2 more cat girls show up at Kyo's door, asking to stay over. Later in the meeting room with Japanese officials, it's revealed that the real reason for other cat girls' visit is to make ties with the people of Earth. Eris convinces the other cat girls to join negotiations in school swimsuits, giving everyone some fan service, all thanks to some creep literature she discovered under Kyo's mattress. The atmosphere during negotiations is awkward, as expected, especially for the captain, but the others don't seem bothered. Eris suggests they will stay since the Cation embassy is beyond Japanese law, but the Japanese government has to ensure their safety, or they will declare war against humanity. All the cat girls declare that they will use Kyo's house as a permanent base. Later, when Manami and AI visit Kyo's house, they obviously misread the 5 cat ladies standing dressed and exposing, really exposing, swimsuits in his living room, and because of this, my man got beaten by Manami without any genuine reason. Due to betraying their agencies, Manami and AI are now considered traitors, prompting them to go into hiding by leaving their respective cities for a while. The cat girls suggest they stay at Kyo's place, now the Cation embassy, for safety. Both girls agree. The cat girls explain that they have to leave but will leave Eris behind since she can stay longer in the protected embassy. The following day, Manami and AI show up with suitcases, planning to live with Kyo and giving my boy a harem. Manami is fine with the idea as she lives next door to Kyo, but AI appears to be a bit uncertain about it. Later, while bathing, one of the droids offers to wash Kyo's back and tries to talk things out by writing on a board. Eris walked in on Kyo in full plot armor as he bathed and also joined to wash his back. This would have been fine, if not a little awkward for that nerd. But the fun didn't stay for much longer when Manami walked in, infuriated with Kyo's creepiness even though my man didn't even do anything. She attacks him, chasing them both out of the bathroom where they run into AI. After all the craziness settled down, Manami and AI took their turn in the bathroom. The both girls talk about their feelings for Kyo, but this doesn't go long as one of the robotic servants is stolen by members of an unknown group. With no time to think, AI and Manami jumped into action and chased down the kidnappers and recovered the droid. The next day, Manami, AI, and Kyo are employed as formal embassy staff by Eris the following morning. Manami learns of AI's emotions for Kyo and promises to assist her, yet Manami's behaviors throughout lead to AI believing that she also has affections for him. At the Saitama Super Arena, packed with members of a fanatical club of grown adults obsessed with cats, their leader, Antonia Morphinos, showcases photos of Eris and declares her as their new idol. The scene shifts to Kyo waking up to Eris dancing with her droids. The nerd seems confused, but don't worry, Manami clears things up. The reason behind Eris dancing like crazy is that she took some scented silver vine spirits, an Asian herb that is said to be stronger than catnip. Fortunately, Dr. Durrell, who shows up just in time, injected something in Eris which turns her back to normal. Dr. Durrell then asks Eris if she has chosen her partner for her first mating season, to which she signals towards Kyo. Manami is shocked to find out that Eris is entering her first mating season, and to add to the surprise, she plans to choose Kyo as her mate. Angry, Manami demands that Kyo clarify the situation, but he swiftly leaves the room without responding. Meanwhile, AI gets 2 assist droids of her own and goes through the initiation procedures and almost makes them terminate each other. Thankfully, she's able to stop them at the last second. Later, Eris spills the beans that she got a mission from Keisha and needs Kyo, Manami, and AI's help to observe human stuff like economy, technology, and culture. Eris sees it as a chance to grab lots of toys and games as souvenirs. So, they plan a trip to Tokyo. At the mall, Kyo, Manami, and AI get carried away by all the cool stuff and end up blowing all their monthly allowances. On their way back, they feel a bit weird and almost miss noticing that the usually busy train station is completely empty. AI goes to investigate, leaving Manami to watch over Eris and Kyo. It was, of course, a trap and Kyo and Eris walked into it. Manami and the assista droids are glued to the floor by a group of attackers dressed as maids from the underside of the kitten's paw, a cult that worships all cat things. They kidnap both Kyo and Eris and make their escape. AI almost caught up with them on a bike but was defeated at the last second. Desperate to get Kyo and Eris back, they seek help from the Caitians. Thankfully, Janice, Manami's old boss, is able to give them some intel. AI shoots in a wall that opens her super cool secret hideout so they can rescue them. On the other hand, both Kyo and Eris are unconscious in bed while Eris is being live-streamed to the screaming fans of the cult. Gradually, Kyo regains consciousness and, somehow finds his hand nowhere else but on Eris' talons. Seeing Kyo's hand, she happily hugs him, digging him deep into her talons, making every weeb jealous. One of Antonia's maids enters the room and spills the beans that their cult worships cat girls as gods. The maid also concludes that they are on their master Antonia's ship, whose grandfather is a multimillionaire who takes care of the boat's expenses. You kidding? Even a billionaire can't afford a boat like this. Eris comes up with a not-so-genius idea and commands the maid to let them go, but the trick doesn't work. The maid then serves them with trays of expensive food, which changes the minds of Kyo and Eris, and they decide to stay a bit longer. After indulging, they decide to escape, but unfortunately Kyo discovers that Eris' power suit is not working as per limitations because of her heightened state due to her mating season. On the other hand, the maid again enters the room, telling them that they have replicated this with Caitian technology, and she won't be able to escape with her power suit. Eris becomes sad listening to this and calls for her droids, to which the maid also introduces a human-sized droid that seems obviously sus to Kyo. It might be a human in a costume. I just know it's that annoying brat Antonia in it. But the maid rejects the idea, saying that it's a robot replicated from Caitian droids. The droid takes them to a playroom where they can play video games. Kyo notices that the games are changed to be solo, so guests don't accidentally beat or purposely lose to the owner. All the games can only be played by one person at a time. Meanwhile, AI and Manami go to a weapon shop to replenish their supplies. They ask for a motorboat while they're there, but are informed that there was only one which was sold to director Kawasaki for his future film. He is known for making high-octane action movies full of girls in skimpy undies, so they're kinda guilty for borrowing his boat. But oops, he walks in and mistakes them for movie actors. He hands them a bag, thinking it's their costumes, and guess what's inside? Skimpy bunny girl undies. They put them on reluctantly, but surprise, they still swipe the boat. Turns out, the director had cameras on the boat. He loves the unexpected views he's getting with well-blended fan service. Meanwhile, Eris and Kyo are being treated like gods, although Eris informs them that she is not allowed by Caitian law to assume the role of a deity. But whatever. Kyo and Eris swipe sweets with each other, giving Kyo immeasurable strength for them to escape. On the other hand, AI, Manami, and their assistant droids enter the ship by using a gun that shoots any non-living things. As they enter, AI destroys the ship's engines, and Manami finds Kyo, although he's now wearing Eris' power suit as it's not limiting for him. Meanwhile, AI fights with someone wearing the same super cool suit. Surprisingly, it's a woman with dog's ears known as Jens. The dog woman fights with AI and leaves her stranded between iron bars. Later, they find AI unconscious in the engine room as the ship is sinking. With time running out, Kyo quickly carries her through the ship to reach the lifeboat. In the midst of the chaos, AI, thinking she's dreaming, confesses her love to Kyo. Meanwhile, the Doxian who attacked AI manages to escape to fight. Elsewhere in space, all the Caitians are conducting a meeting in a sauna. I wish my office meetings were like this. The cat girls are able to confirm that AI's super cool power suit has been provided by the Doxian to the Earthlings, who seem to be another race of aliens resembling dogs. This is in direct violation of an order from the central body. They need to get this news to Eris so that she is aware of what they're up against. But first, they need to work out why humans enjoy saunas. They're just too hot for their delicate cat-like bodies. So, the captain changes the virtual room into the North Pole. Meanwhile on Earth, Kyo is packing his camera and stuff with the help of his own assisto droid. While packing, Kyo nearly forgets to put his tape, and obviously, this turns on Eris. She suddenly hugs him, but the fun doesn't last long as both of them hear gunshots outside of his house. They run towards to check, but to their surprise, AI is teaching Manami how to use guns. In return, Manami will teach her how to cook, which gets him quite annoyed. Regardless of it being an embassy, it's not very nice for the neighbors. Then Kyo and Eris leave the scene. Manami is annoyed but reluctantly agrees. AI is also keen to perfect her cooking skills in an attempt to win Kyo over, but she keeps setting the food on fire. Luckily for them, Cheka appears and tells them about the virtual room where they can create anything they want with their minds. It also comes in handy for mating seasons when Caitians don't have a mate. Isn't that too much information? Anyhow, it seems they doesn't care to tell us how they got to the ship, but AI creates a kitchen and starts to practice her cooking while Manami creates a shooting range but then creates Kyo to help her move the guns. After he ends up being fairly useless as expected, she asks him some questions about how he feels about the girls and her, to which he talks about Manami heart to heart. Meanwhile in school, Kyo and the random two girls start recording Eris for a sci-fi play for school which she agrees to be a part of. But they don't know what to record. Everything seems to be going against her as she doesn't look alien enough, and her ship also doesn't quite fit the bill. Some of the club members decide that they should make a romance instead, which is enough for Eris to jump on top of Kyo. Later at home, Manami and AI have returned home as well as Kyo. AI serves him the food she cooked for him, but to her dismay, the food doesn't taste good. AI is surprised and says the virtual room Kyo really liked it, to which Cheka responds that Kyo from the virtual room said the things they wanted to listen to. Meanwhile, in the Caitian spaceship, Eris can be seen eating a couple of pills which will skip her first mating season. The poor cat, crying, calls for Kyo. After summer break, Kyo and the girls rejoin the school. To everyone's surprise, Eris also enters the class in a hot Japanese girl uniform. But wait, there's more to it. That annoying rich brat from earlier, Antonia, also joins Kyo's school with her maids. While on their way back home, Antonia is grabbing everyone's attention and her maids have to pull out some freaking rifles, making everyone disappear. What the hell is wrong with this girl? After a moment, Kyo's club president also appears, asking Kyo to invite him on a camping trip. The president also asks Eris if she would want to accompany him. As a consequence, Eris, Antonia, AI, Manami, and maids all join the film club in hopes of attending the camp. They sign up for the video club so that they can go on the camp with Kyo. Of course, AI and Manami also sign up since they can't let Eris go alone with Kyo. With Antonia's resources, which I still can't believe even a billionaire can't afford, they are driven in style to the beach where they will be camping. Only no one told AI and Manami that they were going to the beach. Luckily, Antonia and Kyo have prepared an array of swimwear for Eris, and the other girls are also welcome to wear anything that Eris doesn't want. They come out of the changing tent to see what the boys think. However, Eiko, one of the girls, has put her bikini bottoms on back to front. Normally, that wouldn't be much to get excited about. However, these are swimsuits designed only for Eris. That's right, they have a hole for the tail. Amazingly, no one noticed until it was too late. Later that night, after all the filming, everyone is enjoying the BBQ party hosted by Antonia. Meanwhile, Kyo asks AI to walk with him as they go a bit further from the group. This made everyone think that he is going to propose to AI, but instead, he asks her to help him learn to fight and leaves. AI seems upset since she thought he was going to confess his love for her. Eris finds AI alone on the beach and offers her some barbecued meat. AI is upset about Kyo and takes it out on Eris, who then hugs her and says that they are the same. Surprisingly, AI finds comfort in that. The cute moment is disturbed when the Doxian ambassadors show off a custom-made assisto droid that looks eerily similar to Acacian assisto droids. Kyo asks AI. Suddenly, a young girl called Ikika emerges, and the camp is assaulted by the Doxian assault droids at the same moment. They are quickly vanquished with the assistance of Caitian's assisto droids and several Excel form cards, which boost AI's strength and speed. The cat and paw cult can be seen gathering at the same Saitama Super Arena, which is enough to fit 37,000 people in it. One of Antonia's maids appears with an assist on droid and turns on the big screen, where Antonia appears with Eris. They discuss seemingly unimportant matters, yet the crowd starts chanting their slogan of Meow Why. Meanwhile, AI takes Kyo and Manami for practice in Keishin's virtual room, teaching him how to use firearms. However, Manami, wanting AI and Kyo to spend some time alone, teleports back to Kyo's house. After a heart-to-heart conversation with Kyo, she tracks down Manami and picks a fight with her, believing that Manami isn't taking things seriously. Manami laughs off her concerns, leading to a fight using Keishin bullets that only destroy non-living things. Of course, this results in them shooting each other's clothes off, but no matter what they do, at the end of the day, Kyo is going to get caught up in the chaos for no apparent reason. Later, Manami suggests that they do some real training in the woods, and the loser will have to follow one command from the winner. Basically, she wants to take revenge on AI. They set off, and the game of cat and mouse begins, with each trying to outthink and maneuver the other. As the game progresses, Manami accidentally gives away her position, which, in return, gives AI an idea of where Manami will be. The game of cat and mouse turns into a Counter-Strike match, and it ends in a shootout, which Manami wins thanks to AI dropping her last magazine. Looking ahead, Manami insists that AI must address Kyo by his first name, leaving AI torn between embarrassment and the threat of a forced kiss. However, their departure takes an unexpected plot twist when AI notices a red dot on Manami's head. Surprisingly, an unseen assailant fires a live round at them. The girls work together. AI strategizes to send out Manami running. The assailants take the bait and shoot towards her, revealing their location to the girls. AI shoots at their guns, giving Manami enough time to sneak up on them from behind. Shedding more than just light on the situation, they use their special guns to make them completely bare. Later, upon returning home, they stumble upon a surprise dinner prepared by yours truly Kyo and Eris, as they thought it would be nice to make dinner after a long day of training. While having dinner, Manami, determined to assert her victory, pinches AI into using Kyo's first name. But Kyo didn't think about it much, which makes Manami furious, leading to a comically failed strangling attempt. Meanwhile, the Dogsians receive a massive parcel of the defeated snipers in a box. Elsewhere in space, a Keishin spaceship floats around. The captain of the spaceship sets her destination towards Earth when a shadow character appears. Meanwhile, on Earth, Eris and Cheika listen to the DVD gifted by AI. Turns out, Cheika is here to inform Eris that the Grand First Assist droid named Lori was aboard a ship headed for Earth many years ago. However, a terrible accident left her ship trapped in hyperspace, where she had to watch her master slowly die. Now that she's escaped from hyperspace, she wants to visit Earth and complete her master's dream. Kyo and all the Assisto droids get excited to meet the first ever Assisto droid. But Eris seems a bit off. Although the Assisto droids are excited to see their distant relative that's more likely to be called their grandmother, there have been a lot of changes in their design since then. Kyo, Eris, and all the Assisto droids stand at the door to welcome Lori, the Grand First Assisto droid, which is much more humanoid and so pretty that it made even Kyo blush. The cute little Assisto droids serve Lori with tea and biscuits. Lori also thanks Kyo for treating the Assisto droids as his friends and not as servants. Lori then asks Kyo and Eris to show her the night sky of Earth, to which Kyo happily agrees. Later at night, while in the park, Kyo separately asks Eris why she seems off from the moment she heard that Lori is visiting Earth. At first, Eris resists, but then she reveals that having a humanoid appearance caused a lot of issues back on Keisha in the early days. Eris seems to hold on to the guilt of her ancestors and cannot bring herself to talk to Lori, leaving Kyo to guide her around. He takes her to a secluded beach where she can see the night sky. While on their way, Lori reveals that she does not blame Eris for the past, as it was not her mistake. While on the beach, Lori sings a song that her master had been fond of, having picked up the transmission from Earth. And somehow every individual in the show starts singing that song at the same time. Having completed her master's dream, Lori returns to space and waits for her time to come to an end. Well, the time passes and the Christmas season is here. On their way back home, Manami tries to explain to AI why she has to take advantage of the season if she wants to get close to Kyo. She also points out that, if she keeps failing to make an effort, Kyo would just fall into Eris' hands. But turns out, AI is not too comfortable with being rushed and feels content with the current situation. However, Manami insists that she should ask Kyo on a date or gift him something. Suddenly, Kyo runs towards AI saying that he wants her, making her pass out even though he just wants her to go to a DVD shop nearby, and once again my boy gets beaten up for absolutely nothing. Elsewhere in space, the Cation spaceship confronts Dogxian's spaceship but destroys it without wasting any time. Captain Kun decides to visit Earth to meet Kyo and Eris for Christmas, but she looks more interested in food. When Kyo asks Captain Kun for her assist on Droid, she reveals that it's her bell. Eris further explains that every Cation bell works differently. This reminds Kun that she also has an early present for Kyo, a power suit that would enable him to protect himself and those around him. Meanwhile, AI visits Manami, who seems to shift to her home. AI shows her the gift she bought for Kyo, and voila, it's a romance DVD player. However, before Manami could say another word, the nearby truck Kun nearly ice-skated them. AI shoots at the truck driver, but to her surprise there is no one. The truck then attacks Kyo's home, and surprisingly, this assault is organized by none other than Dogxian Assisto droids. They inject Kun with nanobots that block her brain functions. At the exact same time, more Dogxian Assisto droids attack the Cation mothership and take control. Melwin, who is acting captain in Kun's absence, separates the bridge from the ship, hiding it in hyperspace. The Dogxians have captured the ship and are content to let it crash into Earth, ruining Cation-human relations. To make matters worse, Eris receives distressing news. Her ship has also been destroyed, leaving them trapped on Earth as the mothership drifts towards them. As Eris anxiously urges Antonia to secure a spaceship, an unexpected twist unfolds. Earth's ships are mysteriously grounded, orchestrated by the cunning Dogxians. Unbeknownst to them, Captain Kun, before succumbing to unconsciousness, entrusts Kyo with her control bell, granting him the pivotal role of captaincy and the power to reshape matter. With Captain Kun's bell in hand, Kyo embarks on a quest to reach the control room, where he envisions altering the ship's trajectory. A stroke of fortune accompanies him, as the bell not only imparts command but also the ability to manipulate matter at will. The missing puzzle piece, rockets. Antonia's resourceful bodyguard unveils a Russian contact willing to sell antiquated rockets, offering a glimmer of hope amid the chaos. However, the clever and determined Dogxians discover the plan to acquire the rocket. Even Eris' intricate use of lifelike body doubles at the embassy fails to conceal their plans. Swiftly, Dogxian troops mobilize to thwart the launch, plunging our protagonists into a race against time. As Kyo skillfully puts together a makeshift spaceship, things get tense. A big showdown with 2 tank squads is about to happen, making everyone doubt if the ship can survive against the enemy. As the rocket prepares to launch, the fueling process faced a time crunch due to approaching tanks. Antonia swiftly deployed her battle maids, successfully fending off the threat and buying the needed time for liftoff. Amidst the tension, Manami experienced an emotional outburst, expressing her feelings before the team managed to escape. Tensions rose when Manami urged AI to confess to Kyo before their departure. AI and Manami argued, leaving Kyo confused. Eris calmly explained Manami's feelings for Kyo and revealed that AI felt the same. Eris expressed her love for Kyo, too, mentioning that Cation society allows multiple partners, and since Kyo's house is Cation soil, it's acceptable for all of them to love him together. Once they made it to space and realized that the Dogxians had launched an attack on them, they each kissed Kyo and then got undressed. That was, of course, to put on their battle suits so that they could fight the Dogxians while Kyo flew back to the mothership. The Assistroids built a hyperspace gate, and they managed to escape just in time. Kyo arrived on the mothership and was able to defeat the Dogxian Assistroids with his power suit, but the computer wouldn't recognize his command because he wasn't Cation. Luckily, he was able to change his DNA with the captain's bell and save the day. Back on Earth, Eris, Manami, and AI had finally managed to defeat the dog girl gents. However, victory was short-lived as they faced a new threat. The Dogxian space station is plummeting towards Earth, threatening to obliterate the Okinawa area. AI, with her quick thinking, calculated that if she could somehow increase the speed of the station's descent, it would disintegrate over the vast expanse of the sea, thereby saving Okinawa. Without a moment's hesitation, she charged into action. But her efforts alone weren't enough. Then, in a moment of unity, Manami joined her. Together, they had done enough to save their homeland but found themselves in a perilous situation. They didn't have the power to escape. They knew the risks before they started, but their courage didn't waver. Kyo arrived back at Earth without a moment to spare and was able to save AI and Manami. They were all surprised to see that Kyo now had cat ears and a tail. Finally back home, they watched in wonder as the Cations delivered their Christmas present, an orbital elevator.
If you liked what you saw, consider subscribing to the channel and stay tuned for more quality uploads.